Hey everyone, it's Tanya at Move Deeply. If you're someone who has tight calves, tight hamstrings, quads, generally tight legs, this video is for you. I'm going to walk you through some of my favorite exercises to help really effectively relax these muscles. This is way better than any kind of stretching that you may have tried, simply because it targets the muscle fibers that are gripping and that the nervous system is keeping tight because of overuse. And it's just going to completely change how you can move in your workouts and your day-to-day. I actually did this routine this morning and I did my workout right after, and my strength and mobility and performance was much better than when I didn't do it a few days earlier and could have used it. So our legs are really hardworking. They keep us standing, they keep us moving, and this is a really quick way to just release those muscles and just be able to get back into a postural position that's more ideal. If your quads are tight in the front, then this can actually pull the pelvis into tipping forward. So I have this in my own body, and so I tend to admittedly neglect my quads sometimes because honestly, they don't actually hurt me most of the time or bother me. But then if I have something like a bit of low back pain, or I'm noticing that if I'm doing squats, I'm sort of feeling like I'm struggling to keep my back from arching too much, that's probably an indication that I need to work on my legs in terms of releasing tension. So these are all somatic exercises with a bit of massage in the beginning. You are going to need either a massage ball. This is a spiky one. You don't have to have a spiky one. You can use a tennis ball or a squash ball, whatever kind of ball you might have around. Maybe your kids have a toy or something that could work. Or if you don't have that, another option is a dowel. I prefer to use a ball because you can get more angles of your foot and just sort of get into the nooks and crannies a little more. But both are equally effective in relaxing the muscles in the feet. And we'll do a little comparison before and after so you can get a sense of how this is actually influencing your standing posture, going all the way up into your pelvis and maybe up into your shoulders too. So the other thing you'll need, which you may have noticed, is a chair or a wall. Actually, a wall is a little better, but since I'm out in nature, I need just a chair. But you'll just be using the back of the chair, or if you have a wall, then I'll tell you how to use that instead. So with that, we are ready to go, and just hop into something comfy, maybe put a mat down, but you don't really need it. This is all standing stuff, and you can do it pretty much any time. Let's say you go for a hike, you can just lean up against a tree and do the exercises I'm going to show you other than the self-massage. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start with the massaging part of the routine, and we'll be starting with our ball under the, let's do the right foot to start. And so just bring the ball under the ball of your foot, the ball under the ball, and just start to roll from forward to back. You can rest on your chair if you need a little extra balance, or hold onto a wall. And just keep going front to back. If you've never really done this before, this might be pretty painful. So just take it easy. Don't go too hard. And just notice where in your foot things may be hurting. And that's an area that you're going to want to slowly work on a little more each time. So just keep going back and forth. And then we're going to start experimenting with just sticking around the heel. So just rolling between left and right, making circular motions around the heel. There is a fly hovering around my leg. It likes the ball. That's pretty funny. I don't know if you can see that. It's quite amusing. It's the joy of being outside, obviously. We have a little bee bath here, and there's tons of honeybees, so it's pretty cool, but a little intense sometimes too when they come zooming by. I think one zoomed by me when I was doing my intro, so you might have seen that and heard that. So just keep massaging through your foot and moving into the middle area. I'm pretty tight on the outsides of my feet, so I'm focusing on that. You might find you're on the inside more. And we're just going to go back and forth. So bring the ball to, put your heel on the ground and bring the ball to around your ball of your foot again. And we're going to go left to right. You might notice that other parts of your body start reacting here. I find that my hands get kind of crazy. My fingers just start moving without me really realizing it, or my arms start rotating. It's pretty interesting. Try to go up into your toes now and just spread your toes wide on the ball and go back and forth. If you find the ball is moving away from you, just stop for a moment and bring it closer to your body. We don't want to be having to do the limbo or something while we're reaching for the ball. And now just put that aside and stand normally. Don't try to change your posture or anything. Close your eyes and just notice how your right foot feels now compared to the left. You might even start to feel like your foot is more planted evenly compared to the other foot. And then maybe moving up into your calf. It could feel like there's a little bit of a difference in there. If all you have time for is a few minutes, then this type of self-massage is a really great way to just reset a little bit of your body and just relax some of the muscles that in those hardworking muscles of the calves and the feet. So let's do the other side. Starting by going front to back. Just noticing if this side feels different, if this foot feels different than the other, if there's different tension points, painful points. That was another honeybee. There's also a couple of bird nests in my garden right now, so you might see a little junco flying by sometimes. She's going to feed her babies. Super cute. So keep going front to back and moving between the sides of your inside edge and your outside edge of your feet every once in a while. And then making some circular motions back and forth on your heel. Again, you can use the chair if you need more balance. And remember to walk the ball back closer to you if it's starting to move away. And then place your heel on the floor and going left to right on the ball of your foot, spreading your toes over the ball. Gradually moving closer to the edges of your toes. Try to hold onto the ball with your toes and keep it from getting away and massaging in there. The spiky ball I'm using is really good for sort of an acupressure effect. So if you don't have one but are curious, you can find them pretty cheaply online. And they definitely are sort of more of an advanced massage ball, but once you get used to it, it feels really good. All right, so I think we're done that side. Let's close our eyes again and stand normally. And just notice how this side feels now compared to the other. Maybe it feels more even now. Your feet both feel more planted. I know mine do. And my calves already feel a bit more relaxed than they were before. Okay, awesome. If you have a dowel instead, I should probably show you how to use that. So I usually put it horizontally in front of me, and start going back and forth from front to back with the foot, and just pausing where it feels like there's more tension. And that's pretty much the only thing you can do with the dowel. You could rotate it to be vertical and experiment with going side to side, but it's mostly about going front to back, but that's still a really effective release for the bottom of your foot. So we're going to set those aside and move on to our legs. So again, just close your eyes for a sec. Notice how you're feeling in your calves, because we're going to be working on those next. So place your hands on either on the wall in front of you like this, or on the chair. And then you're going to walk your feet away just until you feel a very mild stretch. So we're not stretching. Somatics is an active movement, and we don't want to go into a stretch reflex because that'll just make it less effective. So make sure you're just feeling a little hint of a stretch. So start to have your toes facing forward and about hip distance apart. And then we're going to come up onto our toes. And then slowly, with control, you're going to come down for my count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And then come up again, nice and easy. Everything's really slow with somatics, so sometimes it's tempting to just rush into that first part, but try to take it slow as well. And then we'll lower again for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and completely relax. Don't grip your muscles, don't hang on. Just let your heels rest. And now we're going to bring the heels together. So you're going to be in a V stance. It's going to look like that. And your toes will just be pointing out at about a 45-degree angle. Doesn't have to be too precise, whatever feels most comfortable in a V shape. And then we're going to come up on our toes again. Be sure to make sure you're feeling like that mild stretch feeling. And then come up onto your toes. Your heels will separate, that's fine. And then very slowly come back down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And one more time, come up. And then very slowly come back down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And now we're going to do the opposite. So bring your toes in as comfortably as you can. If you're really tight through here, you might not get your toes to touch. Just do the best you can with your toes in, heels out. And again, adjust your distance from the wall or the chair to a point where you feel like you're getting a very hint of a stretch. And then come up and slowly release for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and completely relax. And then slowly come up. And slowly release with control. Try to keep your eyes closed when you feel like you know what to do and you don't have to watch me, just so you can really tune into your body. And completely relax when you're done. Don't rush through if you're still going. And then bring your feet back to parallel. Release from the wall or the chair and close your eyes. Notice how your calves are feeling. You might just want to take a few steps around your space and see if you already feel like maybe there's a bit more of a even planting of your feet and control with movement through your calves. And then we'll come back up to the chair. And we're going to be doing a hamstring release next. And we're going to bring the right leg out behind you. You can just rest on your the tops of your toes, and your left foot is just standing underneath you at a comfortable position. And then slowly bend your leg, so you're activating the hamstring muscle here. Just bend as much as you can without forcing. And now we're going to slowly release with control for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely relax. Just let your leg rest. And then again, bend at the knee. And then slowly release for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And we'll switch legs. So bring your right foot onto the floor, bring your left leg out, and rest your backs of your toes, tops of your toes on the floor. And then bend at the knee. Notice if this leg feels different, and slowly release for 10, 9, 8. You might get shaky, that's fine. That's just an indication that these muscles need to be released. Keep going. And also the shaking means that your nervous system is trying to get that connection back to being more solid and to better control your muscles and keep them at a better neutral state. And completely relax at the bottom. And again, bend your leg. And slowly relax back down with control. And completely relax at the bottom. Slide your foot back in. And again, close your eyes. Notice how you're feeling. Take a little walk around. Notice how your legs are feeling. So I also teach a version of this on the floor, and that's also in my channel. So just have a look in my lower body playlist, and you'll be able to find one that's labeled for plantar fasciitis, and you'll learn that exercise there if you'd prefer to try it on the floor. So next we're doing the quadriceps. So same thing, place your hands on the chair or on the wall, and you're going to take your right hand, bend at the knee with your right leg, and reach for your foot. Now, if this feels like too much of a stretch for you, you'll want to grab something to extend your reach. So a belt or a strap, or even a exercise band that's maybe folded up. Something to just give you a bit more distance and put that around your foot and then hold on to it. So again, we're not wanting a really significant stretch here. So if you're really tight through the quads, that might be a little challenging, but just do your best to avoid pushing into a stretch. So from here, we're going to press the foot into the hand and the hand into the foot. Your knee will start to come back, and you're going to activate through the quad here. Try to avoid rotating. Keep your hips facing forward and even, so avoid lifting up your right hip. So just coming back as far as you can. Again, we're not forcing anything too much here. We're just easing into a contraction through the front of your thigh. And then very slowly release this. So you're going to have to keep contracting, but just loosening it a little bit. Takes a bit of practice. Don't worry if you don't quite get it this first try. Just keep gradually bringing your leg back to where you started. Very slowly releasing that pushing of the foot into your hand, and then relax. You might already find that you feel a little less tight through your quadriceps muscles now that you've done that one round. And we'll do one more. So press that foot into your hand into your foot. Try to keep your body square to the front. And slowly, with control, reduce that contraction, lessening it bit by bit. Make it a bit of shaking. If you're like me, these muscles are really quite tight a lot of the time. And I don't do this one enough. Probably because it's the hardest one for me. Usually the hardest one is the one you need to do when it comes to somatic exercises. And relax once you're at neutral. And then try to gently release your foot with control. And slowly bring your foot back down. Whew. That actually burned my standing leg a little bit. I think it's because I'm tired from my previous workout. So close your eyes. Just notice if one leg is feeling a little different than, that the right leg feels different than the left. My right front of leg and the quads just do feel a little looser. I feel like my pelvis is able to come a little more neutral on this side. So that's a good sign. I hope you're also feeling that. And we're going to do the other side. So bending at the left knee. Again, use your strap or belt if you need to. Press your hand into your foot and your foot into your hand, contracting through the front of your thigh. And then slowly, with control, allow that to gradually come back to the starting point. Completely relax. Notice if it's a little more open already. And then again, press your foot into your hand into foot. Slowly resisting, letting the hand win, and letting your thigh gradually return to neutral. And completely relax, and then release your hand and slowly come back down. Shake your legs out, close your eyes, and come to that standing position again. Notice how you're feeling. Notice if your pelvis position has changed at all. If you don't really notice anything yet, that's fine. This comes with practice. If you're just starting somatics with me, then you may be just starting to get the hang of how to feel these differences in your body. But usually you can start to feel them pretty quickly. So it just takes a bit of drawing more awareness inwards and experimenting with movements. So let's walk around again, see how our legs are feeling. I feel like I'm planting my feet more forward now. My toes tend to tip out, face out slightly when I walk. This is a pretty common thing for most of us. So you might already feel that you're coming more center with your toes. You can even look down and see if that's the case. Ideally, we want our toes facing forward when we're standing. But if you aren't doing that at this time and you naturally face outwards with your toes, it takes time to start changing that, but these exercises will help you get there eventually. So if you do these a few days a week, then you should start noticing a difference, and this will help up your performance in exercise. It'll make walking feel better. It'll make standing feel better. And I'm going to show you one more thing just for how to stand when you have to stand for a long period of time. And most of us will tend to either stand with our feet out, using a lot through the glutes and the outer thighs, which creates back pain and all sorts of complications over time. Or we might sway one hip to the side. None of those are ideal for our posture. So if you put weight on your left foot with your toes facing forward, keep your hip activated so we're not bumping out our hip, and then just slide your heel onto the top of your arch. You're just resting it there. So your right heel is just left on your left arch. And just notice how that's already activated the core. So take your foot off again and close your eyes, and then Slowly move your foot into that position. And you'll sort of feel like this zipping up through from your belly button, your lower abs, up to your center. And you might also notice that you're able to keep your shoulders more open and up. So now we'll switch sides. So step into your right foot, slide your left heel onto the right arch, and then release that foot over to the side. So just to compare, turn your feet out and try standing like this for a few seconds. And bring your attention to your pelvis and your abdominals. You'll probably feel that most of the activation of muscles is through the back of your body, in your butt and your outer thighs. And your abdominals might not be that activated. Your low back may be arching a little bit. It doesn't actually feel that secure in my body anyways. If this is a way you stand normally, it might feel pretty comfortable. But if I were to come and give you a nudge or press down on your shoulders, you'd probably fall forward or just not be as stable as you might be in this position. So I hope you enjoyed these tips and exercises, and let me know in the comments if you noticed any differences in your body, and be sure to hop over to my channel and subscribe if you don't already. Thank you so much if you already do. And I'd also love to know what else you might be having trouble with in your body, what parts of your body feel like they're always tight, and I'd love to offer you some help with that. So if you want to learn more about somatics, you can head over to movedeeply.com, learn more about me and my practice and my offerings to help you move better and release chronic tension and do all the things you love to do with more ease and grace. So until next time, keep moving deeply, and we'll see you soon.